Yes, guys, we did it. We made Queen. I told you guys I would grind to Queen this week, and I played about 8 games over the last 2 days, and it basically pushed me over the threshold. These are my stats for this season. 165 matches. Win rate of 30%, so that's first place 30% of the time. Top 3 rate of 63%. That's actually, I'm really happy with that, guys. That's a really, really good set of stats. So yeah, I'm really happy to be in Queen, and now we can start grinding for the leaderboard. These are the last 6 matches that I played. If you're interested in which compositions I played, we're going to focus on the game that actually got me to Queen today, but I have so many games to go over the next few days. But the game that got me to Queen was a very unique game because I did a lot of really good late game stuff. So we're going to focus on the late game stuff, and also I pivoted at the right time and pivoted really hard. Now, I did say I've done the draw for the giveaway of September. It was indeed done. I will be uploading an unlisted video, which I'll put in the description when it has been uploaded. The winner was Dennis Sajar. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Of the September giveaway. I will be commenting on his winning comment and trying to get him to contact me. If he doesn't contact me, we'll have 2 weeks and I'll redraw the winner. But I'm happy to announce that I will be doing another giveaway starting from today and ending in November. So this is going to be another Switch giveaway. You just need to like, subscribe, and hit the bell and leave a comment. And my boy Claytano is also giving away a PS4 on his channel, so go and check him out. So we're actually starting a little bit later into the game here, round 7. That is because I forgot to record the early game, but I can kind of catch you up on what I did. I think it's pretty obvious. Basically, I picked up loads of pairs of goblins, as you always see me do. You always see me pick up pairs of goblins because it's just a good way to get into the early game. However, you know, if you look at this composition any day in the week, you probably think this composition wins, right? You like 3 3-stars, no, 4 3-stars. He's got a Hell Knight. He's got the goblin bonus. He's got a 2-star Tusk champion. You probably think this guy is like 100% win streaking, like all the way. No, I lost at round 7, unfortunately. And because I lost, I decided not to rank up at round 8. Now, the reason I decided not to rank up, sorry, at round 9. The reason I decided not to rank up at round 9 is because there wasn't really a win streak to protect anymore. So I'd much rather focus on kind of building a composition. Now, you saw me sell off my bench. This is one of my biggest tips, by the way, and I'll be doing a video talking about what I learned getting to Queen and what I think you guys need to know to get to Queen. But one of the biggest things that I learned was how to manage my bench economy. That might seem like a really weird statement, but your bench has got so much value on it that if you are not using those units and you don't intend to use those units, or they're not relevant to the composition that you've got, you can sell them off to hit thresholds. One of the biggest mistakes that I see is people keeping druids that they aren't planning on using, for instance, just in case that they get the 4 druid combo to get, you know, the instant 3-stars and stuff. Those druids, you can find them later on. You know, for instance, I see people keeping like a Whisper Seer when they don't need to keep a Whisper Seer because they haven't even found the Razor Claw yet, you know, for that, you know, and the Razor Claw is the hardest one to find. So managing your bench economy is actually really important, and you're going to see me, or you kind of already see me do that to get 10 gold before the neutral round. And getting 10 gold before the neutral round is actually pretty big, because what that allows you to do is then start to build a pretty good economy going into the Wolf round, because you want to be around 50 gold by the time that you get to the Wolf round. Now, because my composition is quite heavy, I've got 3 stars that I've got 2 stars that I'm not going to be using, like Skybreaker, Heaven Bomber. I've got 2 Rippers, and I've got Tusk Champion. You can quite clearly see I'm gearing up for Glacier Knights here, so I'm not going to be using those units. So that means I've got a heavy field, which means it's very unlikely that I'm going to be hitting 50 gold by round 50. Plus, if I need to buy things, I'm not going to be ignoring anything that will contribute to the Glacier Knight comp. This is another piece of advice that I've got for you, is by round 10, you should have a clear direction about what kind of composition that you want to build. So for instance, if you want to build Glacier Knight, often by round 10 you would have need to have found your Hell Knight and your Lightblade Knight, or at least the Hell Knight. The Hell Knight is probably the most important. Lightblade Knight Lightblade Knight needs to be there for late game, but she's not like as important for the early game. So you need to have found like some core units to your composition, whatever composition that you choose to do. Like Dragon Mage, it's nice to find a Dragon Knight before round 10, but if not, make sure you find things like the Source, your Shining Dragon, your Winter Corrupt Terran. For God compositions, you really need to have a God of War 2 by that point, or at least you need to have the parts of the God composition like Thunder Spirit. Any Mage comp really relies on having Thunder Spirit, so you need to find Thunder Spirit before round 10, for instance. So yeah, this is kind of what I wanted to focus on. The fact that by round 10, I had a clear idea about where I wanted to go. I had 10 gold before round 10, so my economy was in a pretty good state. And although I got a pretty, you can see I've got a heavy composition on the field, and I also invested some gold into levels, but I've also got a very heavy bench. Now that bench is okay to be heavy because I'm going to use those units later on. So when I feel like transitioning, and I will tell you that I will probably not look to transition this build until I get a 2-star Lightblade Knight, or at least I get two 2-star Hell Knights, for instance. But I'll look to transition and sell off those units. I'm happy to keep them at 2-star. Like, I'm happy to take a 2-star Ripper because it's just a good unit, right? But other than that, I'm mostly looking to transition once I find the 2-star Lightblade Knight. I will sell off the units over time to make sure that I get that gold back. I will not get all of my gold back. For instance, on the Ripper, I'm not going to get my gold back because it's a 2-star combination. But on the Tusk Champion, the Skybreaker, and the Heaven Bomber, I'm going to get 100% of my gold back. So yeah, this is what I'm going to do over the next few rounds. For instance, I'm not going to hit 50 gold here, but what I am going to do is probably sell off one of my units. Yeah, there you go. I sell off the Tusk Champion. He's the least important unit here. The reason I sell off Tusk Champion over anything else is that I do like to have the Goblin bonus still. It can still be fairly effective. And then I add in the Frost Knight, because Frost Knight is, in my opinion, better than Lightblade Knight at level 1. I think Lightblade Knight basically just gives free mana to people at level 1. I don't think she's that good, unless you've got something like a Frantic Mask. So that gives me the Knight bonus as well to potentially keep my Hell Knight alive. Now, I'm starting to lose here. There are a couple of ways that you play this. I am a little bit behind on levels, so what I'm going to do is focus on getting levels to level 8. I want to be level 8 by round 21. Then, I'd like to maintain a 50 gold economy and start rolling for the Knight units that I need. I'm not in a bad position. It looks like I'm losing a lot, but I would say that I'm still middle of the pack in this game. There are people that will beat me, and there are people that will not beat me. Right now, I'm facing up against a lot of the people that are going to beat me, but very luckily, I obviously have my Priest in there, and what the Priest does is it reduces the damage that you take when you lose a round. So I'm quite happy to be losing rounds right now. I'm also on a loss streak, so I'm very happy to take that extra income, and you can see that my economy is really healthy, as is the number 1 players. We both have the healthiest economies in the game. But you can see, like, this is a guy that I will beat, for instance. This guy right here, I'm going to beat him, but I'm going to lose to others as well. Unfortunately, that kills the loss streak, but at the end of the day, I'm not too bothered because I'm already above 50 gold. So what you're going to see me do here is, again, pump gold into levels. It's something that I always recommend, especially if you've got a level 8 dependent composition like me. I'm taking a level 8, I'm taking the hard push to level 8 because it is important that I get level 8 for Glacier Knights. Now you can see here that I've kept the goblins up until round 20. They are going to start outlive their usefulness, realistically. They're outliving their usefulness here. The goblins are probably no longer relevant, and as if right on cue, I find myself the 2-star Lightblade Knight, which is now going to allow me to transition into Glacier Knights. I'm now looking for basically that. I was looking for Hell Knight, which is very lucky because I found it. I don't have the Soul Reaper yet to give myself the Agursis bonus, but I have got 2 2-star Hell Knights, which work really well with Glacier, so I'm very happy with that. And I've also obviously got the 2-star Lightblade Knight as well. Unfortunately, I would say that Glacier Knights is a pretty item-dependent composition, specifically for Hell Knight and specifically for Lightblade Knight. The reason being is that Lightblade Knight needs damage to be good in the late game, and especially because I'm choosing to not run Berserker. Now, there is a reason I'm choosing to not run Berserker, and I will go into that, but Lightblade Knight basically needs damage items to be good, even at level 3, and Hell Knight needs defensive items to be good as well, especially versus the compositions that you see me facing right now. Now, why am I running Berserker? Sorry, why am I running Defector and not Berserker? Well, that's a very, very, very good reason. There's a very, very, very good reason for that, and I will go into it. Hopefully, you will see it throughout the game. Basically, in this lobby, there are 4 mage players, and the number 1 player right now is a god mage player. Now, for me to win, for me to get queen from this game, I knew I needed at least first or second. Second was a push, but I knew I needed to get first to get queen from this game. So I felt that I was pretty strong against the majority of the board if I got a 3-star Hell Knight and a 3-star Lightblade Knight. However, I needed to get level 9 and add a Storm Shaman to be able to beat the #1 God Mage player in this lobby. Now, what else kind of prompted me for this decision? Well, I have 3/4 of a Refresher Orb, and I have a Magicka Staff combination that's going to essentially give me 30% extra damage. So Refresher Orb plus 30% extra damage for my Storm Shaman means I'm going to likely beat, you see the items right there? I'm going to likely be able to beat any mage player. Plus, I get the Shaman bonus, and the Shaman bonus is, I don't know if you know, but at the start of a round, you will automatically hex someone, and then you have the extra hex of the Defector. So this is an anti-mage Glacial Knight build, and in the lobby that I'm in right now, it is heavily mage. Now, I'm beating most of the mage players, but I'm unfortunately losing to like a lot of the top players. So, for instance, I'm losing to the feathered player you see here. I was also losing to the God Mage player. So I'm actually going to need a 3-star Lightblade Knight to actually even have a chance of beating most of these guys. So I don't want to absolutely throw my economy down the drain. I basically got to level 9 and was desperately rolling for a Storm Shaman because obviously I have the Storm Shaman units right here. Like, I've just got the Storm Shaman stuff in my inventory. Really close to Lightblade Knight 3, which is awesome. And I roll and find a massive upgrade turn, which is going to be a 2-star Soul Reaper and a 3-star Lightblade Knight. So that's absolutely ridiculous, but I didn't find the Storm Shaman. I know that in this game, I'm going to need the Storm Shaman to win. It's a really powerful level 9 combo with Glacier Knights because it gives you anti-mage potential. And actually, mages can be one of the more difficult matchups for Glacier Knights, especially if the Night Shield RNG is not kind to you. What I will say to you is that now that the Knights... now that Knights decide on their shields every 2 seconds instead of 3, you actually have better matchups versus mages because you actually can negate some of the very early burst because you get a very early shield. Which you can see here, like my Hell Knight basically negated the majority of that burst. Unfortunately, you can still see that I'm losing. And 6 mage comps are really difficult to beat if you're playing Glacier Knights, and unless you're very lucky with the shields, which is why bringing on Storm Shaman is actually so important in this scenario. And you can see that I'm sitting on this Refresher Orb and staff. I don't want to give it to anybody because there's no one that I'd like to sell. Now, you could say give it to the 1-star Desperate Doctor, but the thing is I might want to keep him to go for a 3-star Desperate Doctor, so it doesn't really make sense to give anybody other than the Storm Shaman these amazing items that are just stuck in my inventory. It really sucks because these items are just so ridiculously good. But I can't really do anything about it until I find the Storm Shaman. So once I find the Storm Shaman, it's not even just about having a level 1 Storm Shaman. The problem with having a level 1 Storm Shaman is it's almost certainly going to get killed immediately at the start of the round by any mage player. So I kind of need a level 2 Storm Shaman to make this work well. Luckily, I find some damage, by the way. That damage can go onto my Lightblade Knight. Just even having a random Ghost Blade is a pretty good addition. And there we go, find the Storm Shaman. Phew. Even having a random Ghost Blade is a good addition because it's just a good flat damage burst for my Lightblade Knight. But now that I've got some really powerful items on my Storm Shaman, my next biggest priority is getting Storm Shaman to level 2. Like, I absolutely need Storm Shaman at level 2 to win this game. There's no way that I'm winning this game if I don't have Storm Shaman at level 2. Just simply because it's just he's gonna die instantly and he's gonna offer nothing to my composition. And you can see I'm like desperately searching for Storm Shaman here, but unfortunately unable to find another one. So I'm not in a super bad position here. What I'm kind of worried about is this. Like, you can see my Storm Shaman just gets silenced immediately, then blown up. And this is the God player, by the way. So I can see that without Storm Shaman 2, I'm going to really struggle to actually get the win here. And I need the win. This is the problem that I'm the problem that I'm facing right now is that I genuinely need the win to to actually get queen in this game. And this is kind of something else that I wanted to talk about that really helped me out personally when dealing with getting first placed. For instance, I found it really hard to think about getting first place rather than just thinking about getting top 3. First place is an interesting one because essentially a lot of my first place came from tech units. And if you've watched my videos before, you'll have seen me do things like tech in I don't know, like tech in Dark Spirit, for instance, to beat the Knight players. And in this case, me teching in Storm Shaman is my way of dealing with the God Mage player. It's not even that bad against the Assassin player. But I actually got helped out a little bit here, by the way. Something that you'll notice is that you're seeing the God player put his God of War on the back line. He's doing that to protect against Assassins. And I found the egg. Oh my god, I found the egg. There we go. Whew! 2-star Storm Shaman, let's go. He's doing that to protect against the Assassins. He's actually losing to the Assassins. So I'm actually in kind of a good spot here. The reason I'm in a good spot is because the Assassin player is actually doing a lot of work for me. The Assassin player is putting pressure on the God player. That means that I will always have better positioning versus him. Now the thing the God player is not doing is adjusting his positioning for both me and the Assassin player, depending on who he's facing. He always keeps his God of War at the back until the Assassin player is out of the game. Now I think he's probably doing that because of the way that the round robin system is working, is that the Assassin player can play the God player, and then he might actually need that, he might sort of knock the Assassin player out by having the God of War in the back line. So that's why he's doing what he's doing right here. But it's helping me massively when I match up against him. The Assassin player, by the way, has got an incredibly stacked Abyssal Crawler, and that Abyssal Crawler is actually beating me, as you can see here. Luckily, it's kind of close between me and the Assassin player, because otherwise, like, one wrong move and I will have been absolutely blasted. Now, what I've done here is I'm noticing that the God... See, I actually don't have too much issues versus the Assassin player. I have more issues versus the God player. So what I've done is I've put my Storm Shaman at the front. I want my Storm Shaman to instantly cast his ultimate like that, and then instantly refresh his ultimate. Because then I absolutely crush the God player. Like, there's no way I don't beat the God player in this scenario. And you can see here that we again get another win over the Assassin player. Because like I said, I'm not too worried about the Assassin player. I'm more worried about the God player. So this is what I'm doing. And to be honest, my positioning actually also helps me versus the Assassin player, because I'm protecting my Lightblade Knight by putting my Evil Knight at the back. The Evil Knight at the back left of my current iteration of positioning means that the Assassins are going to get kind of locked up. Oh yeah, this is where I crashed. Oh my god, this was the worst thing in the world. I was like, bloody hell, this is like the worst time to crash. I'm on 8 HP. I'm like 1 game away from Queen. I will not get Queen if I get 3rd. I may get Queen if I get 2nd, but I'll absolutely get Queen if I get 1st. So I like hardcore loaded back into the game because I was like bricking it. Like I was like, please don't lose, please don't lose, please don't be out, please don't be out. I knew that I had a good shot versus both of these players. Like, I knew that my composition was in a strong position, so I wasn't too stressed. Well, I was stressed, actually. That's a lie. And I ended up seeing that I beat the God player on my screen. And then I come back to the Assassin player getting knocked out, which is amazing. It also means that I get a Frantic Mask for my Lightblade Knight. Now, we're going into the Glacier clan. We have to reposition a little bit more normally because we don't want my Storm Shaman like face tanking the Glacier clan. And what you can also see me doing here is I'm actually saving gold to get to level 10. Not that I think that I can bring on anything massive at level 10, but just an extra unit, like, I don't know, like an extra Storm Shaman, for instance, you know, that could actually give me the edge versus this God player. And also what I found is that some really cool additions to my lineup. I'm actually even going to just combine it to make 2 Jade Pipes, even though they don't stack. What I've done is I've actually given magic resist and life regeneration to my Lightblade Knight, and now I'm going to split my composition up across the board. The reason I'm doing this is I don't want my entire composition to get nuked out by one thing. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out for me. You can see that it was pretty close. I mean, actually, we still won, but we beat him on his screen. Like, we absolutely just, the positioning worked on his screen, and actually, that's all that mattered. And then we got Queen. So, I hope that was informative. I hope that it was a fun game to watch because this was such a big game for me, and I'm really happy. Like, Glacier Knights, by the way, guys, force it. Glacier Knights are just really good right now.